All right. All right. Here I go. Here I go again. On Friday, live and direct, raw and uncut. Here I go. Um, Talking about a myriad of subjects. Really one in particular. Um, Let me know if I'm coming in clear. I want to make sure I'm coming in clear. All right. Make sure I'm coming in clear. Make sure my camera's cleaned off. All right. All right. How everybody doing? Y'all already know what this is. This is Supreme American TV, and I'm your host, the intellectual Lord Benjamin Manhattan. And before I get into this, in Lord I'm and I trust, and in Lord I'm and I share these thoughts. I like the Lord tank top, rocking the Lord tank top. All right. Lord tank top, rocking today. Yeah, yeah. Okay, today's a good day. It was a good day. All right, get ourselves together. Looking at my little monitor up here. Let me drink my water. Y'all like this title? And what y'all think of the Lord tank top? What y'all think of the Lord tank top? LORD. Upscale leisure wear. Lord tank top. Yeah. Y'all like that? Make sure everybody can hear me. The blue and red. Blue and red. We only do living colors in Lord by Lord Manhattan leisure wear. So look for that on the site, lordmanhattan.com. A lot of stuff coming. All right. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Should let everybody get more people in there. Y'all like that? Yeah. Lord by Lord Manhattan. Yeah. Am I coming in clear? Can everybody hear me? I want to make sure I'm coming in clear. Matter of fact, I can know how to test this. Hold on. I know how to test it. All right. Testing. Make sure I'm coming in clear. All right. Okay. Let me make sure. Okay. Yeah, second. My little playbacks. Clear? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. So, anti-black, anti-American. Why do I say being anti-black is anti-American? I say that because I kind of was inspired to do this because of this lady who is female, I should say. It's Ashley Gonzalez. Everybody's up in arms about this. This is about some lady police officer, some female police officer who made some disparaging remarks about so-called quote unquote black people. And I'm like, okay, what else is new? I guess the idea was that, she said what she said and that she's a police officer feeling that way and taking people's, working for the public, working around so-called black people and, having these racist thoughts and ideas, this anti-black racism. And that's not nothing new. And I'm going to say this for all of you Caucasians and you or anybody who has this anti-black hatred, this so-called anti-black hatred, you're being anti-American. By having hatred for so-called black Americans, having hatred for a lot of people is really being anti-American right there. Why? Because the only real Americans here is our people. And these racist immigrants who came into this country, these racist immigrants who came into this society have always been anti-American, meaning anti-black. Don't get fooled when they sit up here talking about America first, USA, USA, USA. What they mean by USA is the system of white supremacy, because USA is a system of white supremacy. The USA, the United States of America, is not American. The United States of America, the corporation, is a European corporation run by Europeans. Our president, Donald Trump, is German. We got a German president sitting and residing over America. And the ethnic background of all these European presidents sitting over America, and we had one African, Barack Obama, one African. This country has never seen an American president, a real indigenous American president. Ask yourself a question why that is. Why this country has never seen a real indigenous American president. Now they'll tell you that the so-called Native Americans are the indigenous people of this land, but that's not true. Because again, the so-called Native Americans are a watered down version of the real American indigenous people. They're a watered down version. They are part of those 5 federally recognized tribes, or what they call civilized tribes, because they don't want to talk about the other hundreds of tribes that are not federally recognized and were purposely broken up and reclassified as Negroes, the real indigenous Americans, right? Ever since the Europeans and all these other immigrants came into this country, whether it be Asians, Caucasians, all these people came here, they all been anti-American. They're not about America. They're about the USA. I told you the United States in America, or the US and America, are 2 totally different things. Being American by nationality and being a United States citizen is not the same thing. Everybody who calls themselves Americans are not Americans. They just made this government made the term American a generic term for anybody who comes and lives within the borders of North America. They can, or in the borders of the United States, because they only call people who live in North America, in the United States, excuse me, within North America, they only call them Americans, right? Like technically the Canadians, the Canadians are Americans, or people in the Canadian section, they American because Canada is in North America. The so-called Mexicans are American because it's in Mexico's in North America, which means that they're indigenous so-called black people of those places of Mexico, because you got indigenous black people in America and in Mexico, excuse me. You got indigenous black people in Mexico that they try to hide, right? They got indigenous, a whole indigenous black population, so-called black population that they try to hide in Mexico. A whole population of black people that they hide, and they show you a bunch of what you call Latino looking Mexicans, which is a mixture, a mutt race of Asians, Hindus, and Caucasians, and some indigenous bronze people are mixed in there somewhere, but that's a mutt race. Same thing with the so-called Native Americans. The Native Americans are Asiatic people. They're not American. Again, they want, the government and historians and everybody wants you to believe, they really want us to believe that there were no indigenous people that were just here in America, a people that just belong to America and America only. They want you to believe that everybody who's in America came from someplace else. Now, my wife said it clearly. One of my wives, she said it clearly. She said there's a population, or an indigenous population of the continent of Europe, which is really Asia. But we accept the indigenous population of Europe as Caucasians, right? Europeans, which is why I said they should be called European Americans, not white Americans. They should be called what they are, European Americans, to let them know and remind them that they're not American. Okay, like they like to remind us, calling us Africans, even though we're not African. The Asians, or Asia, has an Asian population of people, right? There's an accepted indigenous Asian group of population. You see all those countries in Asia, China, Vietnam, all these, Tokyo, Japan, all these places in Asia, within the Asian borders, and they have an indigenous people, even though the original people of those lands are so-called black people. However, we accept the people who are in that landmass with the Asian slanted features and whatnot. We accept those as the indigenous people of that land. You're Africans. Africa has an indigenous people, or an indigenous group of people. Like Africans has an indigenous group of people, right? And, all of their continents, they have people that are there who are indigenous to that land. But when we get to America, they want to make it seem like there was no indigenous people here. So you mean to tell me, because this is what they tell us, that everybody in America is from someplace else. So why isn't it that America doesn't have an indigenous population? How come America don't have an indigenous population? That's a real question. How come America doesn't have an indigenous population? How come everybody else, we're told that every other continent has an indigenous population, but when we get around to America, oh, it was nobody here. So you mean to tell me there was nobody in South America, there was nobody in North America, there was nobody in Central Mexico, but when you go back, you see all these so-called black people in these places, from the Olmecs to the Mayans, all to the Bone Park temples. You see all the ancient black Americans here, ancient so-called black American people here. who had nothing to do with Africa. They cannot be traced to Africa. They was trying to trace the Olmec heads to Africa, but the Olmecs are not African. The Olmecs are indigenous Americans, Black indigenous Americans. The Olmecs are Black indigenous Americans, so-called Black indigenous Americans. I'm using the term Black so y'all understand what I'm saying. So being that everybody pretty much knows this, the government knows that Black Americans are our own separate entity. We have nothing to do with Africa, that we are the indigenous population here in America that they try to hide and try to mesh us in with the African. Remember I told you the Portuguese said, and again, it's in documented records, that the American indigenous people are the Negroes. The Negroes are the American Indians. The Negroes are the American Indians, that they try to mesh us with African. Everybody's in on this lie, man. Everybody's in on this lie, telling we came from West Africa and all this other stuff. They ain't got no proof of that because, again, the jealousy and the envy of these people, because our people, you know, it's to this point, it's not even debatable anymore that our people are the indigenous people of America. It's not even debatable anymore. That's why everybody hates our people. They want to lie and make it seem like meaning that these racists want to make it seem like they hate us because of the color of our skin. They hate us because of our hair. They hate us because, no, that's not it. You don't hate people because of genetic features. You don't hate people because they supposedly, because, you know, they always make up lies as to why they hate our people. They make lies up. They say they hate our people because we commit crime. Like they don't. Like everybody else got a group of people don't commit crime. Oh, but you Blacks commit the most crime. That's a lie. That is a big lie. Well, don't let me get the crime stats up here for the people that's committing the crimes in the areas of unaliving, school shooters, pedophiles, you know, people leading in sexual assault. We got a list of people that lead in all of that. Now, we don't say, we know those are the usual suspects, the serial killers, the pedos, you know, all this. There was just a story, like I said, that's why I go on the Friday Crime Report, or you go up here and you see, well, all these places, you know, that's supposed to be white areas. These people out here shooting up places. This guy just shot like 20 people. I think some white guy just shot like 20 people. I forget where it was at. And these stories are ignored by the media. These stories are ignored by the media because they would rather focus on watching what Black people doing just to report any kind of crime and taking that focus off of white people, because it's white people that control the media, and they don't like the narrative of white people committing crimes. They don't like to show the narrative of white people being menaces. They don't like showing that. Those stories get buried because they want to paint the indigenous Black American as the problem. They want to paint the indigenous Black American as the problem. They want to try and make us the problem, make it seem like we are the reason why things are messed up here. No, it's not. We the reason why there's a country here. Our people are the reason why there is an America, why there is a United States anyway. But as I say, these people want to act as though they have this hatred for us for these made up reasons. We commit most crime. You know, they just hate us for just whatever. And I'm like, again, these people cannot sit up here and claim that the reason they hate our people is because of crime, because everybody commit crime. Some more than others, them more than us, to be honest with you, if you want to really get the FBI statistics out. So what is the real problem? Is it the color of our skin? Who hates people because of the color of their skin? Who hates people because of their hair? Who hates people because of physical features? And we all supposed to be human, as you say. Who hates people because of physical features? That's not the reason. Not at all. Black Americans are hated in this country because we the real Americans. That's the only reason we are hated. They don't hate Africans. You'll never see the racists talk about Africans because Africans are linked to Africa. They're not a threat here in America. Africans could always be sent back to Africa, be it Nigeria, Uganda, wherever they come from, because they, like I said, Africans could always be sent back to Africa. So anybody could be sent back to where they come from. Is not a threat. Black Americans are the only people who are from here who can't be sent back to anywhere. There's no place to send us back to because we didn't come from no place else. There's no place to send us back to, and they know it. all these lies and whatnot, and they trying to get all these entertainers to come with this nonsense that Black Americans came from Ghana. They still trying to push this propaganda, and it's sad that you can get these entertainers, these Black celebrities to get on board with this nonsense. That's why I say I don't got no respect for these Black entertainers at all, because they'll sit up here and they're basically told by their handlers that they can never admit or ever act like or come out and say that Black Americans are the real American indigenous people, the first Americans of America. But it makes all the sense in the world that we are, because like I said before, and I keep pointing this out, that our culture dominates America. Like that chick Ashley Gonzalez, who everybody getting all bent out of shape for, you know, some low vibrational Latino, you know what I'm saying? Some Latina, you know, which is a mutt race of people. She comes from a mutt race of people. You see, Black Americans, so-called Black Americans, we have a real lineage. We have a real heritage. We have a real connection in America. There's a reason why our culture, our music, our food, everything dominates America. There's a reason why. Because our culture is thoroughly American, because we are thoroughly American. And anybody speaking against Black people, Black Americans, you anti-American. Because you speaking against the original Americans. You speaking against the original indigenous American people. Our ancestors are the Olmecs. They're first Americans, the first American combat soldiers, the first American warriors, the Olmecs, the first American civilization builders, the Olmecs, our people. Not them people over there today in Mexico. Not them. The Mayans, our people on the Bone and Park temples. That's us. On the temples, that's us on the Bone and Park temples in those murals. They, you know, you get people come up and say, yeah, they look like us, man. They look kind of like they real dark skinned, and they look, no, that's us, man. Stop with the, oh, they look like us. Tariq Nasheed used to do that. Oh, yeah, you know, those people on the walls, they kind of dark skinned and whatnot. No, stop saying they look, those are Black, those are indigenous Black Americans, ancient indigenous Black Americans. That's our people. The Mayans are our people. The Aztec are our people. The Inca, the Olmec are our people. They left their images on a Bone and Park temple, because you know how we are. We love to take pictures. Black people love to take pictures. That ain't never changed. We love the floss. We love to wear jewelry. We like food. We like good food. We like music, all of that. We are party people. We are a festive people. And that is in us to this day. And that does not come from Africa. That does not come from Africa. That is thoroughly American. So when you see all these racist Caucasians, Asians, whoever over here, these racist people talking all this BS about our people, just know that they just a bunch of goddamn haters, like this Ashley Gonzalez. You know, she probably some chick that talk all that shit and then sit up here and listen to some hip hop. Talk all that shit and listen to hip hop, or listen to any kind of music you listening to, Ashley Gonzalez, you thank Black Americans for. Any kind of culture, any flavor here in America, Black Americans put it here. We put it here, and we not from Africa. It didn't come from Africa. I wish y'all stopped giving credit to Africans. I hate that terminology, African American, because it makes it seem like we got something from Africans. We got nothing from them. Absolutely nothing. We are not the same people. Even Tariq Nasheed, I had to keep bringing him up. I had to bring him up for a second, because he started back his ism radio, and I was listening to him. He's leaning more into the indigenous thing now, more and more into the indigenous thing. But then we'll turn around and say, yeah, they try to treat Black Americans like we African. We not no Africans. We foundational Black Americans. But you said we come from Africa and mixed in and whatnot. So we are African according to you. If you say our origin, Black Americans' origin is in Africa, and we made our way over here and mixed in with the Black indigenous Americans here, then you calling us African Americans. You can't say we not African and then say we came from Africa. That don't make no sense. This is the FBA nonsense. We came from Africa and had an ethnogenesis, but then Tariq Nasheed turns around and said we're not African. Make that make sense to me. Either we African or we not. All life started in Africa. We got African DNA. That's a load of BS. I told you that's a bunch of cap. All that, we all African, we all got African DNA. That's some made up nonsense from these Caucasians, man. They say all kind of stuff. They make up all kind of stuff, and y'all don't question nothing they say. These racist historians, these racist Caucasian historians, all of them, they make up all kind of fake history, fake lies, when they can't back none of this stuff up, and nobody bothers to question them about what the things they say. Like when they claim there was nobody here Because they you know they really trying to say that white people came here first. They was up here talking about the Vikings, some white Vikings came across North America. They making this up now that some white Vikings came across North America and whatnot, and you know all this other stuff. They lying, man. They lying. And why are they lying? Because they don't like to be, the racists don't like to be in a country where they don't feel as though they belong. You see, the reason why they don't feel as though they really belong here, why they got to always exalt some sort of racial dominance or try to exalt some kind of racial dominance, is because they really don't feel like they belong here. When they see our people here in America, when they see our people, music, whatever, just being ourselves, our natural American selves, they don't like that. They don't like that. They don't like to see our people, you know, existing. They don't like to see our people living. I'm talking to you racists, you immigrants who came here who hating on the indigenous people. Because again, that's really what it's about. Stop with this whole, they hate me because I got black skin nonsense. We ain't got no black skin. They're trying to black us out as a people, but they hate on us because they know we're the real indigenous people here. That's the only reason why they hate on our people. It ain't got nothing to do with no skin color, no hair, none of that stuff. If we was African for real, we wouldn't catch no hell like this. If we really were African in America, we would not be, you know, they wouldn't have no smoke for our people. Notice whenever our people start to claim African, then the Caucasians and all the rest of the races, they calm down, they relax. It's only when we start saying we indigenous to America, that's when all they fellas get ruffled and y'all ain't no American, y'all African, and y'all came from Africa and all that other nonsense. And y'all sit up here and believe this, when y'all understand that whole rant that they coming with is not based on any history, no historical fact, no transatlantic facts or information. It's not based on anything. Everything they say is based on their racism. That's it. Their history, everything they say about our people coming from West Africa, that's all made up. That's cap. They say all that stuff because they want to make us immigrants in our own land. They want to make us strangers in our own land. And that, like I said, go right back in the Bible where it said that we'll be brought into a land and put into servitude for 400 years and in a land that's not our own. Yeah, that did technically happen. When the white man set up North United States of America, the corporation, the USA, like he do everything because he'll take on the name of the homeland. Right, as he's conquering and colonizing the place, he'll take on the name of the homeland, and he'll start making his people American, so that they feel as though, you know, they want to create their version of America. You know, they USA, that's their version of America. That is the white version of America. But there was America here before they came here. There was ancient America, old America. There was here way before they got here from Europe into America. We was already here. The original Americans were already here, the real American indigenous people. This is why, if you notice, they don't really go into the Native American history here. You never always notice, you can't find images of Native Americans going back past 1800. Go back past the 1800s, you're not going to start, and you start going to the 1700s and stuff, you ain't going to see no Native Americans here. Ask yourself that question. Every picture you see of the so-called Native Americans who are that Mongoloid mix, the ones who came from the Mexico and all on borders where their reservations are set up, all the so-called Native Americans you see today, they cosplaying, man, as indigenous people. They're cosplaying. They get paid to cosplay. You know why they really get money every year? To keep the cosplaying going, to make it seem like these were the people who the white man came here and took the land from, and they're trying to repay these people, the so-called Native Americans, and give them reparations or whatever the case is, and they get that every year. But we know that these are not the indigenous people. They're getting paid to go along with the lie that they're indigenous to America. And then when it got uncovered that they're really Siberians, Asiatic people, that they're not really indigenous to this land, because indigenous means you're from this land and you didn't come from no place else other than this land. That's indigenous, not, oh, I came from someplace else, but now I'm American and because now they admitting it. Before they wouldn't admit it. Before they were saying they not Siberian. Some of them are still lying, say they're not Siberians and they not Asiatic people. But now that that's coming out, they say, oh, well, we got here 25,000 years ago. Before, y'all said y'all didn't come from no place. Y'all was always here. But even if you say you came here 25,000 years ago, which is cap, even if you say that, then you're not indigenous to America. You can't come from someplace else and then claim indigenous someplace else. That's like me going from America and then go to Italy and say, I'm going to be Italian now. I'm Italian. I can't be Italian by nationality. White people can't be Italian by nationality. Latinos, y'all are mixed race of people like Ashley Gonzalez. Like I said, her people was enslaved. You know, she want to sit up here and act like she don't even know her own history. But see, what happens is when they get around these other anti-American, anti-black people, these other anti-Americans and whatnot, these racist immigrants, which is what you Caucasians are, a bunch of immigrants. I don't care how long you've been here in this country. Sit up here and call George Washington an American. He's not an American. He's an Englishman. All these presidents have English, Irish, and German backgrounds, Scottish backgrounds. They're not American. So you got Europeans here basically running America. They're not Americans. That flag is a British flag. The United States flag is a British flag. It was inspired by British people and whatnot. George Washington is British. English, all that, and all them Thomas Jefferson, all those people are British, they English. So the flag looks like a British flag. It is, in fact, an English flag, because you can't come from another country and plant a flag in the soil of this country and you're not indigenous to this country. This country never had an American flag. That's a United States flag. There's no such thing as an American flag. You see, the only people that have an American flag would be the people who are actually American. See, we got our own little American flag in our community. We got our own American flag in our community. For us, for the real indigenous Americans, for the first Americans. Our American flag is just for us by nationality. Our American flag is not for everybody else. We got our own American flag. You see? So we don't rock with the whole, because again, the United States flag in the USA is really for immigrants. United States government was set up for immigrants. It wasn't set up for the indigenous people. Why you think they give us hell about our rights? Why you think they always, the government is always crapping on our people when it comes to, you know, getting an anti-black hate crime bill? You know why they don't want to give our people an anti-black hate crime bill? Because that would legitimize our people. You see, the goal is to erase our people. Now they gave the Asians a hate crime bill. The government gave the Asians a hate crime bill, and they don't experience no hate. There's no hate toward the Asians. It never really was. It's more hatred toward Black Americans because Black Americans are indigenous to America. This is really where the racism comes from. This is really where the racism. See, they ingrained with that racism when these people come over from other countries and whatnot. They ingrained with that racism because the people who are in charge of their countries are really a bunch of Europeans mixed with Asian and everything else. These people try to go against the indigenous people of the land. When 9 times out of 10, when you see so-called Black people in a land like South America, anywhere in North America, 9 times out of 10, their roots go back toward the 1800s. 9 times out of 10, those people are indigenous to America. They didn't come from no place else. They was already indigenous to America. 9 times out of 10, if you see those kind of people, it shows you that they were indigenous to America. You see? He said, based on the invasive species logic, what they steal is theirs as long as they claim it's claim it is what they steal. They're thieves. They're thieves and they're liars and murderers. Yeah, they are. That's what was, because I was watching y'all should go and check out this channel. I've been watching a lot of Old Money Luxury channel. I like the Old Money Luxury channel. I've been watching a lot of that. Go and watch Old Money Luxury, show you how these white families made their money and whatnot. It's very inspiring. I also watch a channel called Build INC, Build Incorporated. I was watching a story on the Dole Fruit Company. Dole, you know, I think Bob Dole is a part of that family, right? The politician Bob Dole, but the Dole Fruit Company, right? Now, these people these are a bunch of white American businessmen, white European businessmen calling themselves Americans. You know, they went into Hawaii and overthrew the Hawaiian queen there, and she's like a so-called Black woman. She looks like a little mix between a little Asian and her, but majority of her features, the queen, I forget what her name was. Go look that up. They overthrew. She was like a Black woman. They took the land, they took the Hawaii and took over a whole, pretty much a big part of Hawaii, just so they can farm pineapples and fruit, and basically have the people out there like working like slaves while the white people reaping all the benefits from it. Dole fruit, it's a really good story. But my point is, they go there and they steal people's land and take it by gunpoint, and this is what they do. And then got the nerve to sit up here and talk about how other people are criminals and how they steal. It's hypocrisy. Yeah, hypocrisy. You see? You should check that channel out. It's called Build Incorporated. I watch stuff like that. Y'all like the Lord tank top? Y'all like this? Y'all like this, the Lord tank top? I sit up in my chair or bend down a little bit. Y'all like this? Like this from Lord Manhattan? Y'all like that? I ain't trying to flex or nothing like that. Just like I fit on me. I just tried this on. Y'all like that? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, that's going to be on the Lord Manhattan site. A lot of upscale leisure wear. I think bronze men should wear the Lord on their chest. Bronze men should wear the Lord. You know. So anyway, because y'all have to be quick to throw on polo. People quick to throw on polo, some white man company and whatnot. So again, I like Ralph Lauren stuff and whatnot, but polo, Lord is one of those words that's just up there like polo, those 4-letter words. So I had to get the rights to that and do this, because our people are worthy of it. But anyway, so yeah, all you heard was anti-black racism is nothing but anti-Americanism. Anti-black racism, even when our people was out there running, because they got our people to come out there and represent the United States of America, right? The USA. They got people to come out there and represent the United States of America, going back to Jesse Owens when he ran in the Olympics. I'm like, okay, why, since the so-called black man, right, the so-called black man in that time, and even in this time, was considered a pariah, was considered undesirable. You see, whenever they needed our people to do stuff, when they couldn't get out there and beat Hitler's people, when they didn't have nobody fast enough, where'd they go? They went and got a real American. They went and got Jesse Owens. They went and got a real indigenous American man, a real first American man to go and compete against Germany, and won, brought home the gold medals and won for the United States. He had USA on his chest. So they basically was using Jesse Owens like a damn slave athlete. And then after they used him as a slave athlete, and he got all those accolades and whatnot, he had to basically be reverted to doing sideshows and racing horses and all kind of stuff. Now, if he was in white, he would have had all kind of sponsorship for cereal boxes and everything else if he would have been white, Jesse Owens. But because he's not an immigrant, because he's an indigenous American, of course they're going to hate on the first Americans. They hate on the first Americans. Of course they're going to hate on the first Americans. You see? Of course they're going to hate on the first Americans. You say, I think he a billionaire. You think who a billionaire? Kellogg? Oh, yeah. Kellogg. Kellogg. Oh, yeah. They did something on Kellogg too. I told you, I watch all these old money families, man. All these wealthy old money families. I watch that all the time. Yeah, because I don't like watching nonsense with black people. I don't want to hear about niggas selling drugs, and I don't want to hear about no rap gossip. I want to hear about these crackers and how they made their money. That's what I want to hear. I listen to stuff like that. You see, I listen to stuff like that, how they built empires and businesses and whatnot. That interests me. I'm not interested in nonsense. I'm not interested in rap battles and Cardi B. Even this Hispanic female. Even her, man. I'm like, y'all, people give too much energy to stuff. Okay, she a low-level Hispanic female. You see, who cares what this little rice and beanie that got to say? Who cares? Like, other than her being a police officer, and I'm gonna say something, listen. For all you so-called black people, black men who don't like the police, you need to join the police. You black men who don't like the police, you need to join the police. In droves. You should join the police in droves, because the American Police Department should have a whole lot of indigenous first American men on it, bronze men, first American men. The all police forces out here in America should have a good number of first American police officers. Again, I say first American. We don't say African American because we're not African. We first Americans of America. So first Americans should be all on the police forces. You should be all on the police forces. You should make them tell you, y'all should be going up to the police forces in droves and filling out applications and trying to integrate the police department and whatnot as first American officers. Because again, you can't complain about crime and things like that when nobody want to get up there and take them jobs and whatnot. Make them tell you no, and then explain why they don't want to hire you. Because if they had a racist culture within the police department, these all a bunch of goddamn immigrants like this, just like the white ones. They all a bunch of immigrants who hating on the first Americans, on the original indigenous Americans. That's all. Black means indigenous. Black means indigenous because the immigrants, they want to wipe out the indigenous people, thus the term black. That's why they call us black people. It has nothing to do with race, but you got these boneheads out here who sitting up here tomorrow. Yeah, black is what Tariq and she said, black is our lineage. Black is a lineage. But then turn around and say, well, black is a classification. Well, which one is it? Is it a lineage or a classification? Because last time I checked, we ain't got black skin. Last time I checked, there's no black country. There's no black language. Last time I checked, so how is black a lineage? Where's the black? Where's Blackica? That's what I would say the fictitious land of black people is Blackica. Where's Blackica at? Since it's a lineage, because if it's a lineage, that means there's a country in which you come from. You see, if it's a lineage, that means there's a place where you come from. If there's a lineage, if there's a language, where's the black language? Where's the black land at? You know what the black lineage is? You know what the black land is? Here in America. Like the Portuguese said, negros de terras, the blacks of the land, meaning the real Americans, and negros de Guinea, meaning the blacks of Africa, because they used to call Africa Guinea. Africa's called Guinea. That's why they'll call Italians Guineas, because the term Guinea mean African, because a lot of the Italians look like they was black because there's a lot of mixture from the Moors when they was there in Spain and in Italy. They was over there, running through all the women over there and leaving mulattoes over there. So a lot of them still have that in their blood. A lot of the Sicilians, the Italians, a lot of them still got that in their blood. They got woolly, wavy hair. That come from us. So they a mutt race. They got our blood in them. So that's why they'll call the Italians Guineas. They used to call them, they used to call them Guineas. And they still do. That's them calling them African. You see? But our people are responsible. What you hear our people speaking now, because people say, well, okay, if you American indigenous to America, if you American indigenous, well, what's your language? Our language is American English. Our true language is American English. Why? Because if there's English language, which your scholars, all the people tell you there's English language, which the Europeans came over here speaking, like your George Washington people and all them. There's an English language that they came over here speaking, and you can tell how English people sound. It don't sound like American. You can hear words and inflections that sound the same, but American English and European English is two totally different things. You go even further back to in their English language, it sounds even more not like this language we speaking now. You go back further, and in the English language, a lot of it sounds like some kind of Gaelic type of stuff. You see? You say we're not Moors, though. You're right. We're not. I agree. We're not. We're not Moors. The Moors are Africans. I agree with you. I said we're not Moors. That was just something they was calling our people. The Moors have more in common with the Europeans than we do. That's why the Moors didn't mind trying to get our people caught up in slavery and whatnot. And they would use the Moors. They used a lot of the Moors to come here and lead our people into slavery. They was using the Moors. They're not our people. I agree. I never said that. I was just saying the Moors, which are African, they made their way, and we not African. So the Moors made their way into Europe and all these other places, because they always talk about how they came into Europe and brought all of this silks and fabrics for the Europeans to wear, which they did. The Moors brought silks and fabrics over there. They brought showed them how to eat their food, showed them how to wash themselves, because they was a bunch of damn barbarians and savages. So yeah, the Moors did come over there and help civilize the Europeans. Oh yes, they did. We not Moors though, that because the Moors are African. You see, European language is Pig Latin. Yeah, I agree. Their language, a lot of their language comes out of Latin. A lot of their language comes out of Latin. And what is Latin? Latin is the Roman language. That's Roman. That's that Roman. And a lot of that stuff comes from the ancient Sumerian language, which that was they spin on it, because a lot language started with our people. A lot of the words you say in American English, because again, if English came, because they make the term American English. We're not speaking English. You know that, right? We're speaking American English, which would be considered a slang version of the real English. We're not speaking American English. I mean, we're not speaking European English. We're not speaking British English, is what I'm saying. We're speaking American English, which means that, I would ask the question, if we're speaking what's called American English here in America, where'd the American part come from? We know where the English part come from. Where'd the American part come from? Where did the American part come from? If they could, don't they acknowledge that we're speaking what's called American English, correct? Y'all know that, right? We're speaking what's called American English. This is not English we're speaking. We're speaking American English. American English is a slang of European English. And the American part comes from the indigenous people. A lot of the words that said in this in American English are not found in the European English. A lot of words. Y'all clear on that? So that when people ask what our language is American English, not English, American English. And white people speak American English too. The people that come who families come over from England, like I said, remember, where did all of their accents go? Because all these people who came from other places had accents. Where did their accents go? We the only ones who didn't have an accent. We had would sound like it would be a southern type of accent and whatnot, how we talk. But we the only ones didn't really have the American accent that they talking about come from our people. The American accent that they talking about comes from our people, the American indigenous people. The English comes from theirs. And even English is not even really their language, because again, they'll tell you that English comes out of German or is a Germanic language. You ever heard German? German sounds nothing like English. They're lying. German don't sound nothing like English. See, a lot of y'all see the problem with our people is white people say stuff. These racist historians, they say stuff, and y'all just believe the shit they say. They just make up stuff, and you believe them because they white. Y'all don't know cap when you hear. That's the problem with black people, especially in the conscious community. For some people to call themselves so conscious, they don't know cap when they hear it. They don't know that the white man be lying. Where he be talking about we from West Africa and that we ain't never did nothing, because he'll come out of his mouth and say he said that. They like this cracker that go around. I forget what this guy's name is. He has a show on YouTube where he just basically go around. He like a Charlie Kirkite. I call him a Charlie Kirkite. I forget what this clown name is. This white boy run around going up to white people, and talking about, can you name something black people did? Can you name an invention black people did and whatnot? And of course they try to make fun, act like black people, so-called black Americans didn't invent nothing. But you got a patent office full of inventions that our people did. Patent office full of inventions that our people created here in America. You see, or improved on theirs. And he thinks because he ignorant, he's spreading ignorance, so he didn't do no research. Because like I told you, a lot of their historical stuff they talk about is just based in racism. They just make up shit, man. Oh, you black people, y'all from sub-Saharan Africa, they lying. They making that shit up. Y'all from Ghana, oh, y'all from Nigeria, they lying. They're lying. Okay, they're liars. These are the same people, if you ask them now, where they from, you know what they're going to say to you? Oh, my family's Native American. They're not going to say they family English or European. They're not going to say that. You ask them now, they'll say, oh, well, they'll say something like, well, I got some Cherokee in me. I got some. They say that now. And you know who don't bat an eye when they say it? The so-called Native Americans. They never bat an eye when these white boys come out here tomorrow. I got Cherokee in me. I got Choctaw in me. Choctaw and Cherokee. That the people that lead the Muskogee Creek Nation Indians that Mike TV is a part of. He brags about being part of the Muskogee Creek Indians. Mike TV, and you got a straight up Siberian Mongoloid who's the head of it. But yet you gonna sit up here and say, man, I ain't gonna get back into that with Mike TV, man. I don't even watch his channel no more, man. After he said that bullshit about we gotta register and get linked up in some tribe to claim that we Native American. That's why I said, man. That's why I said we need to leave that whole Native American and American Indian shit alone. Okay, we know that we are first Americans. We know that we are indigenous to America. Leave all the indigenous, all that. Let the Native Americans jump around and do the feathers all down there. I'm stopping that shit, man. I said we do the feathers when we do our festival, the ones that go up that our people actually wore that look like crowns. But other than that, man, we're not on that whole indigenous thing and going. We first Americans of America. That's it. We first Americans. And we know we indigenous to America, of course, but our heritage goes back further than Native being indigenous American Indians, I should say, because I was going back and forth with one of the guys who had the content creator, Sasilino. Shout out to him, no disrespect, but he kept going on about we Indian, this is Indian superior. Who cares, man? We in America, man. This is America, man. We Americans. We are the copper-colored races that were found here by the Europeans, but now they wearing our names, calling themselves American. So again, they set up here and called us black people as a way to erase us. Black is a term of erasure. I don't know when you pro-blacks, you simple-minded FBA is going to get it through your head that black is not a lineage, black is not a race. Black is a term of erasure that the racist Europeans, the racist Caucasians who were coming over here came up with to start erasing the presence of our people here by erasing our names and our titles and telling us that, you know, we're not going to be considered indigenous tribes. We're just going to be called Negroes. We're just going to be Negroes. We're going to just be black. And then by the time they get to 1988 with this clown Jesse Jackson, we African Americans now. They run that African American shit in the ground, man. They running that in the ground. They stay calling us African Americans while calling themselves white Americans, because I told you the goal is to make it look like they're from here and we're not. That's how they made us strangers in our own land. They made us strangers in our own land by trying to lie and say that we came over from Africa on some damn slave ships. They brought 12 million people over here from Africa on slave ships. But meanwhile, the white man is erasing his connection to Europe. A lot of these Caucasians, they sit up here talking they indigenous to America. They got Cherokee and Choctaw in them, and they got whatever. They'll put on one of the feathered head crowns, and none of these Native Americans won't say shit about it. They won't say shit when these white boys come up here and they sitting up here on top of the damn sitting up here talking about they chiefs of their tribe. They don't got nothing to say about that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. So, all right. I'm about to wrap this up in a minute because I got to get ready for my night cast. Y'all know we're doing the first American Street Music Festival. We're doing the first American Street Music Festival in Atlanta next month, May 16th and May 17th at Rodney Cook Senior Park. The first American Street Music Festival, acknowledging who we are as first Americans, our music, our heritage, our culture. Like I said, we representing to the fullest as first Americans, not as no African Americans, not as no FBAs, not as no goddamn Pan-Africanists. All that African shit is dead, man. All that African shit is out of here, man. It's done. Let the Africans be Africans. Let us be first Americans. Leave us the hell alone. We're going to be first Americans over here. Let the Africans be Africans. We're going to be first Americans over here. We're going to we done with black, man. We done with black. We done with it. Okay? We're not going to go back and forth with black and white no more. We done with that. You see? So again, you know, those people who want to be African American, I said, let them be African American, because I told you before, I said this last time, I said there needs to be a delineation within the so-called black race, because we got a lot of simple-minded Negroes who want to believe they from Africa. No matter what you tell them, they want to believe they from Africa. These clowns, if they want to get up and take their dumb asses over there to live in Ghana, let them go. Go live in Ghana. Go live in Ghana. Go get your pockets dug out by them Ghanaians, them African Ghanaians. Let them dig your pockets out. Let them sit up here and put you in a damn lease on some property that you ain't gonna never own. Go ahead over there to Africa. Y'all sitting up here, and the only reason you going to Africa is the white man told you y'all was African. That's the only reason why y'all go live in Africa, because the white man told you African. If he told you niggas you was Martians, y'all would be trying to build a damn spaceship to go to Mars. Y'all sit up here and listen to that clown Marcus Garvey, that clown who never went to Africa. A lot of you guys still calling yourself Garveyites, like Umar Johnson. Man, dude, Umar Johnson, him between his worshiper, Frederick Douglass, a fat tether, as Tariq Nasheed said, a fat tether who came over from Jamaica, really trying to push that Pan-African nonsense, who was in cahoots with the Ku Klux Klan, and a lot of these white wannabe supremacists who was interested in basically making our people leave America altogether, trying to get the real indigenous Americans to leave America and go to Africa somewhere. Then while you go to Africa, guess what? You're going to be under colonial rule, because the goddamn Africans are still under colonial rule. So we can deal with a bunch of crackers over here in America, in our homeland, or we can go to a whole nother place and deal with a bunch of crackers and a bunch of hating ass Africans who don't want us in their land. Okay? Your so-called African brothers and sisters are not your African brothers. They don't want you there. They know you not their people. They know it. And y'all dumbasses go live right over there in Ghana, go live over there in Africa, Uganda, and whatnot. I'm like, man, please, man. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If I had to choose between America and first of all, I wouldn't leave America for nothing. But I'll be honest with you. If I had to choose between Africa and Europe, I'll live in Europe, man. Because the way them Africans are, it's like you're dealing with white people. You're dealing with racist white people. A lot of them Africans, they don't like our people because they know they're not our people. They come over here and they let us know that we're not their people. They come over here, they talk shit about our people. So I'm like, why would I want to go over there and be like, at least if I'm over there, a bunch of Caucasians, at least I know, okay, they ain't hiding. They're not trying to hide whether they like me or not, even though I wouldn't want to go live around them neither. But, come on, man. Come on. No, thank you. No, thank you. The Africans are not our people, man. Africans are not our people. They know that. You know what I'm saying? The Africans when you see them, and you got some of our people who are amongst the Africans who are not Africans. You could tell our people who are not Africans, the ones who are indigenous to America, first Americans, versus the real Americans versus the Africans. You could tell the difference. That's why the Portuguese said the Negro de Guinea, Negro de Terras, Negro the blacks of America and the blacks of Africa. Muhammad Ali said it best when he said, and I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. Muhammad Ali said it best. He said when he was down, I'm going to keep telling that story because that story is gold right there. When Muhammad Ali said he was in 1958, when he was in Louisville, Kentucky, in his homeland, in his hometown, said when he was there, he was trying to get a hamburger at a hamburger shop. And he said that the people in the restaurant wouldn't serve him, right? But he said an African guy came darker than him, blue black African with his African gele and all that stuff they wear and the hat. And I don't know what he was doing down there, but he was down there and they had no problem serving him. I wonder why. Now this is from Muhammad Ali's mouth. Go look this up. This is in 1958. They told Muhammad Ali they wouldn't serve him, but they served the African. The white man said, and he said he heard the white man, the owner of the restaurant, say, "Oh, he okay. The African guy let him in. He's not a Negro," meaning that he's not a Negro. He's not a Negro of America because the Negroes of America are the indigenous Americans. They're the real American Indians, and the white people hate the Indians. Remember, they hate the Indians. Remember, I played that. How many of y'all seen me play that video on TikTok? How many of y'all seen me play that video on TikTok? That old movie called Shadow's Land, where Charles Bronson was playing the so-called American Indians cosplaying our people, and the white guy said to him, he called him a red-skinned nigger. The white man in the movie called Charles Bronson, who was playing an American Indian, he called him a red-skinned nigger. Now, why would you call him a red-skinned nigger? Why would you use the N-word on a so-called American Indian and the American? But then they try to lie and say, "Oh, well, the white man was calling them all the dark-skinned Indians niggers." So that mean that was calling we was dark. Yeah, we know we was the dark-skinned Indians. They was calling niggers like today. Still the same people you call the Indians, the indigenous people, the first Americans, because y'all hating on the fact that y'all know that y'all not indigenous to this land. Y'all know that this is our country. You know that. Y'all know this is our country. You know that our culture dominates America. And again, you know our culture don't come from y'all. It don't come from the Native Americans. They try to claim our music. Don't come from the Native Americans because you hear the Native American music. Don't even know what their music is. Our music don't come from the Africans. Because you could definitely tell the difference between our music and the African music. So just know that to be anti, when you hear the Latino female, she's anti-American, man. You racist Caucasians who hate against black people, you anti-American, man. because y'all ain't American. Y'all Europeans, man. Y'all hating on the real Americans here. You hating on the real first American indigenous people here. That go for you Native Americans who are not indigenous to America. You hate on us. You call us wobbles. You call us all kind of names. Everybody, all the immigrants hate on the indigenous black men and indigenous black women of this country. So-called black men and black women. You blacked us out because you tried to hide us. That's all I got on that. Let me get ready for my cast. Y'all go to FASM Fest, the first American street music festival site. Go to phasmfest.com and make a donation. Please go. The sister LaRonda Hovis out there, I seen you made a nice donation to the festival. Thank you. We appreciate it. Anybody's making donation, we appreciate it. Y'all come out to the festival, man. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be doing my Lord Manhattan fashion show. We got some nice pieces out there. I'm building up the brand, building up the label. I'm going to be a genuine first American designer, a genuine first American comic book creator, owner, epic book creator, all that, all first American. So go to phasmfest.com. That's FASMFEST.com. Go to phasmfest.com. Make a donation. We need your support. We almost halfway to our goal. We more than halfway to our goal. We just need to clean it up. Let's get it going, man. We accepting all donations, man. If you want to perform, if you want to set up a table, if you want to come out, go and contact our people. If you want to come out there and hear me talk, I'm gonna be out there running my mouth talking. I'm gonna be out there teaching and all that. We're gonna have a heavy security out there. It's a family event, heavy police presence. We're gonna have bronze police out there. We're gonna have our own security from the Republic of America. So come on out. For those of you who acknowledge that we are first Americans of America, we invite you to join the Republic of America as first Americans, as registered first Americans in our community. See, we need our own community. We're not worried about the outside world. We're worried about the inside, us as a community, having our own community as first Americans, our own American community, our own first American community. They ain't got nothing to do with the Native Americans. It ain't got nothing to do with these African Americans, that nonsense, that black shit. We ain't got nothing to do with that. We got our own community, and we are registered first Americans within our community. So join the Republic of America if you agree with what we're saying of who we are as first Americans. As ROA Worldwide, go to ROAworldwide.com, ROAworldwide.com. Subscribe to this, give it a thumbs up. Go to my Buck Manhattan channel. Go to my Buck Manhattan channel. I got new stuff up there. It's coming up. One of my wives going to put it up there. Go to the Buck Manhattan channel and subscribe. Share this video. We got some stand up as first Americans, man. F all that African American bullshit, man. Let that African, that FBA shit go, man. Shit is nah. So ROAworldwide.com. Go to my Mentellect Patreon. Become a patron of my Mentellect Patreon. Only $15 a month. Also, go to my Mentellect Extended channel. Got new stuff coming up there on the Mentellect Extended. I told you, we bringing back out Mentellect. We bringing, or should I say, bringing Mentellect forward. Y'all remember me from Mentellect. You saw my Mentellect stuff on YouTube, but I'm about to come with some whole next level stuff. So the Ultraverse is coming. The next level after the universe, beyond the universe, the Ultraverse is coming. The closing of the third eye and the opening of the fourth eye. This is stuff I'm going to be talking on my webinar. I've got a webinar coming up on Eventbrite. It's going to be $15 to get in there and listen to that. It's going to be 2 hours. We're doing our Mentellect classes again. We're bringing forward the Mentellect classes again, get our people minds going, get our people thinking logically and rationally, extending our way of thinking, because we need our mind extended, man. We need our minds extended because we've been listening to a whole lot of BS, a whole bunch of outdated nonsense. Look, man, ain't y'all tired of hearing that you African American and that you got black skin and that, we Christians and Muslims and Israelites are like bull crap and that we Pan-African? Nah, man. Nah. Time to hear the real truth, man. We dead in all that BS, man. So check me out. We're going to have to be doing the Mentellect. We're doing the Mentellect webinars and whatnot. I'm gonna let you know when that's taking place. The first one I want to do is on May 6th. I want to do the first one on May 6th. I'm looking to do the first one on May 6th, probably the closing of the third eye and the opening of the fourth eye. Or I'm gonna do the Ultraverse one. Which one y'all think? Let me know in the comment section which one y'all think, because I gotta get ready to go. Shout out to you, Sister Warrior. Shout out to you. Good to see you here. You my friend on I think you my friend on TikTok and whatnot. Could you help spread the word for the First American Street and Music Festival? You always showing up on my cast. Thank you. Shout out to you, Sister Warrior. All right. What else? What else? What else? Check out check out the American Indigenous channel. Our good sister Vincetta Mentangela, she runs that channel. She gives a lot of good information. So the first American, excuse me, she should probably rename, but the American Indigenous channel, the American Indigenous channel. Go to the American Indigenous channel. Check out Sister Enron Vincetta Mentangela stuff. Also check out Draconian Rules. Again, go and hit that. Go to the FASM Fest, man. We need your donation. We need your help. So let's close this gap. FASMFest.com. FASMFEST.com. I think I done touched on everything. Yeah, that's it. We close this out in Lord Arm and I trust, and Lord Arm and I end this message. Get ready for the Mentellect classes. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna play with some music. Good night.